Some days the weight in your chest feels like failure, like you can't move, can't care, can't do. But Carl Jung saw that sometimes the soul's fatigue isn't laziness at all. It's the quiet protest of a life that doesn't belong to you. Tonight we sit with that ache, without shame or blame. We listen to the tired voice that says, "This isn't me." Because even in stillness, something gentle waits to be found. A path that feels like home, a rhythm that is truly yours. And perhaps in that knowing, the burden begins to lift. Embark with me on a journey through the shadowed corridors of obligation, where echoes of duty obscure the gentle whispers of the soul. In this sacred exploration, we are invited to delve into the quiet conversations avoided for so long, to find courage in authenticity's embrace and unravel the subtle threads binding our spirits to unseen roles and inherited scripts. From the very beginning, our lives are woven with threads of expectation, silently shaping us into what is deemed necessary by the world around us. Like canvas touched by society's brush, we are painted with values and norms, instructed to excel, to nurture, to follow. These unwritten commands form the invisible foundation upon which we stand, tugging us gently yet persistently toward a prefab destiny. Somewhere among these demands, our genuine self remains obscured, hidden behind layers of compliance. The diligent worker, the affable friend, each role, a thin veil over the whispers of the soul, desires to guide us back to our truest self. As we move from childhood's perfumed halls into the world, we often become compliant figures, carrying the weight of our upbringing. Here, inadequacies are untold stories, dreams left dormant in pursuit of validation. Our identities are sculpted around societal axes, footsteps echoing within an orchestra louder than our heart's desires. This dance of compliance isn't born of malice, but from an unconscious absorption of norms, internalizing values seamlessly into our self-tapestry. Yet beneath the facade, a gentle rebellion simmers, not out of defiance, but out of a sacred duty to authenticity. The soul, our indefinable essence, yearns for a life unbound by roles, a yearning revealed in quiet moments. These whispers remind us of a life yet to be lived in its unrefined essence, an existence not held captive, but exploring unknown paths. This inner conflict, a dialectic of imposed obligations and authentic desires, creates a symphony of discord within us. Living a life designed by others leads to unresolved tension, an internal tug of war. It's not about casting aside responsibilities, but about honouring innate desires and integrating them into daily life frameworks. The journey toward resolution begins by acknowledging the rift between our being and becoming, a liberating step toward actualizing a life informed by personal truth over performative adherence. The shadow of obligation draws us toward traditional success markers: career, familial expectations, societal accolades. We chase congratulatory benchmarks, mistaking validation for peace, and caught in a hollow pursuit. This mirage fades the closer we draw, leaving a void where authentic desires should thrive. Within this chase lies dissatisfaction, a subtle voice admonishing the incongruence between reality and innate truths. In embracing vulnerability lies healing and transformation potential, a journey toward authenticity, unbound by obligation. Acknowledging vulnerability sparks courage to transcend limitations imposed by expectations, reclaiming narratives forsaken in shadows. Unveiling the authentic self enriches life's narrative, creating the cornerstone of meaningful relationships and sustainable joy. With illusions shattered comes the opportunity to craft new narratives, tales honouring both where we've been and where we wish to journey. This reauthoring transcends heredity rebellion, casting aside rigid scripts for introspection and intent-crafted ones. As destiny architects, we define paths anew, embracing freedom and self-discipline's intersections with individuated life's reverence. Creating a narrative true to self involves recognizing lessons learned from shadowy demands and integrating them into a cohesive whole. New stories become blueprints for purpose and passion-filled lives, built on consciously chosen values. They transform inherited roles into deliberate choices, fostering agency that nurtures the soul and strengthens the spirit. As we dissolve obligations' shadowed layers, self-compassion guides us in softening self-judgment. Amidst expectation ruins, we discover a gentler voice, forgiving past concessions and nourishing the spirit. Self-compassion becomes a balm, soothing the soul with clarity of being enough, lighting the path to healing and growth. Transitioning from shadow to self, we undergo a transformation, yielding luminous insights and unparalleled growth. This contemplative ascent towards self-acceptance whispers truths over obligations, illusions dissolving into elemental forms. Integrating shadow leads to self-discovery, illuminating lives with awareness and intentions light, freeing exploration of untapped possibilities. Ultimately, we embrace a life informed by freedom of expression, identity, and choosing paths illuminated by heart and soul in harmony. Grounded in self-truth, we move beyond shadow's confines, embracing a life aligned with deepest values and aspirations. Here, authenticity thrives, tended by a garden of profound self-honesty and growth. Every embrace of freedom is liberation, intertwining newfound insights with daily life and nurturing awareness of soulful truths. Embrace the boundless potential and vibrant authenticity within as we emerge from shadows, emboldened by self-awareness and guided by genuine selfhood. In the quiet rhythms of daily life, our fervour often fades into a gentle sigh, barely noticeable as the days blend into each other. Initially ablaze with enthusiasm, the world once brimming with possibilities, we find ourselves lulled into a trance of routine. The colourful dreams we chased on a muted palette, cloaked in the obligations that weave into the fabric of our existence. As responsibilities pile up, what once brought joy and excitement dissolves into a series of duties. A once vibrant symphony of life now reduced to ticking off checklists in rhythmic monotony, much like a painter reduced to tracing outlines rather than filling them with vibrant strokes of creativity. This silent erosion doesn't announce its presence. It creeps in softly until the soul stirs with listlessness, each movement echoing a faint longing across the gentle rustling of time. Subtly, every step seems rehearsed, as if trudging through a fog where feel the heavy veil of what should be life's glorious dance. Inside this mist, we adhere to paths familiar yet suffocating, moving with assumed effortlessness toward goals dictated by others' visions and texts, but ones that lack personal resonance. We trod through these blurred avenues, beckoned by the shadows of routine, while our inner flame flickers dimly, yearning for the fuel of forgotten aspirations. In stolen moments of stillness, our soul whispers its dissent, quiet notes in a haunting melody that echo in our solitude. These are the fleeting breaths of self untouched by roles borrowed and imposed. Underneath the layers, behind societal masks, lies a quiet rebellion, an inner call towards authenticity drowned beneath daily drudgeries. It protests with a restless heart, uneasy in its attire of others' expectations. This silent plea is more than mere discontent. It's a sacred song yearning for renewal, nudging ever gently to awaken passions forgotten, to realign with a purpose unshadowed by the world's templates. The world we show is often an elaborate facade, a crafted image piled meticulously to receive acceptance, yet hollow within. Beneath, there is an unilluminated emptiness, a constant echo of disconnected desires shadowed by painted smiles. The burden of maintaining this veneer burdens our soul, executing life as a play, rather than a multifaceted experience of our own creation. This facade, though fit for societal gazes, quietly siphons vibrancy, muffling the raw creativity and authenticity that breathe life into each day. An intersection cloaked in tedium, yet beneath lies a canvas waiting for genuine strokes of individuality to reclaim its narrative. In these landscapes of conformity and appearances, a natural chasm opens, wide and sobering. The lack of sincerity strikes at the core, leaving behind a void where lost desires once thrived. It's a hollow yearn that resonates throughout life's moments, each absence felt as a longing for something seemingly out of reach. This void is a deep yearning, marking time as it presses against the seams of familiarity, disguising the shadow of forgotten dreams with distractions, tirelessly seeking to fill that vastness with fleeting moments. Yet this allure leaves us wandering still, searching for echoes of a joy once innate in simpler pursuits. Comfort casts its spell in these drifts of habit, whispering softly promises of safe harbour, while passion, untended, dims into a distant memory. It concocts an illusion of fulfillment that binds us within invisible anchors, lulling the spirit into a quiet compliance. To step beyond familiar shadows is uncertainty, wrapped in the vibrant but dangerous hues of exploration. The embrace of comfort constrains, draping the whispers of creativity in layers of conformity, yet the spirit calls longingly to shake off such bondage, to rediscover possibilities beyond unyielding boundaries. To find joy, look toward the simple pleasures often eclipsed by weights of duty. The quiet lapping of new waves at sunrise, the soft tranquility of leaves washed with golden light. These are the gentle melodies opening pathways to connect deeply with life's nuanced beauty. Rediscovery lies in pausing to listen to these songs of simplicity, allowing the heart to tune into aligned rhythms. These moments hold transformative power, humble doorways leading the spirit to spaces where wonder thrives, lighting embers that invoke forgotten joy by moving back into harmony with life's intricate symphony. Amidst these tones, transitions unfold their own story, inviting renewal and a reawakening of self. The uncertain waters of change often mask a world vibrant with potential. Whether career changes or shifting perspectives, each transitional wave gently whispers a chance to pause and delve into shifting sands of identity, embracing the impermanence that heralds new inspirations. With grace, these moments become sacred transformations, a call to step into renewed spaces where dormant passions flourish like seeds in fertile earth. Creativity, the silent architect interwoven in each breath, offers passage back to the brilliance of passion. Not restricted to the artist's hands, it invites every soul to paint life with curiosity and wonder, transcending the mundane. Unlock this flow by immersing fully in each act, transforming routines into vibrant canvases, where every stroke creates a tapestry of vivid potential. Creativity forms the bridge between external monotones and internal harmonies, awakening the call of passion long obscured by heedless progression. From this creative wellspring, life spills over with enthusiasm, welcoming once more the colours of existence danced out in radiant bloom. In embarking on this inward journey, we untangle the intricacies of being, finding reflection in the cool waters of introspection. Herein lies the sanctuary where true desires awaken. Unencumbered by expectations and role mires, through this exploration, we touch the potential for profound transformation, where consciousness expands to embrace and celebrate the vibrant tapestry of our unique essence. In doing so, passion rebirths, not as a distant memory, but as an ever-present muse, vibrant and alive in each moment, magnifying the richness of our intertwined existence. In the tender embrace of family, we are introduced to the dreams that are not ours to hold. Parents and guardians, wrapped in the nuances of their years, often unfurl their unspoken hopes upon us. We, as children, gaze up with eyes wide with reverence, unwittingly absorbing their dreams as if they were stitched into the very fabric of our being. It begins with suggestions both casual and fervent, what path to tread, who to become. Over time, these desires secretively wend their way into the core of our identity. The tapestry of expectation clashes with the vibrant fibres of our own yearning, weaving a subtle tension that grows silently with each step in borrowed shoes. As we journey onward, the silent discord whispers louder. We walk paths illuminated by familial pride and societal approval, while flickering with a dim glow of personal fulfillment. Each crossroad becomes a stage where the external script we've inherited meets the quiet essence of our unrealized desires. A revelation erupts like a silent storm. This is not my narrative. The realization echoes within us at moments when life demands pivotal decisions, a career, a partnership, a home. It strikes with the force of a revelation, steering us gently back toward the essence of self once abandoned or never truly discovered. Yet beyond the familial sphere lies the intricate dance of cultural and societal forces. Invisible threads weave into our lives, suggesting who we must become to earn their silent nods of approval. The collective narrative tells us to seek wealth, fame, power, as if these artifacts crafted the legacy of a life well lived. But in moments of introspective silence, when the noise of society fades, we confront the void left by the absence of our heartfelt calling. We may chase accolades, only to find emptiness when success, as defined by others, lies hollow of personal significance. A mask begins to form, polished by the external markers of success. Friends, acquaintances see only the sheen of accolades, the title, the material sheen. Beneath lies a landscape at odds with these emblems, a gilded cage, beautiful yet confining, where each accomplishment is a shackle, further securing the spirit away from liberation. The mask does not soothe our inner turmoil, but exacerbates it, casting shadows on the true self yearning for light. This burden is magnified by the inner conflict, born from the yearning to please. Encased within us is the conditioned response to seek validation in the approving nods of others. Approval becomes an echo of our worth, shaping us subtly, creating compromises that erode the edges of authenticity. The dissonance festers, leaving us actors in a play scripted by unseen hands. This slow-burning conflict silently eats away at the authenticity we yearn to reclaim, leading us to retreat further into shadows of someone else's creation. The dissonance intensifies, manifesting as an inexplicable resistance, a withdrawal from daily roles, a reluctance to march to a borrowed drum. To outside eyes, it might seem laziness, yet it is a call from the depths. The unconscious body resists, not from indolence, but from the silent plea to pause, to reflect, and to listen for the whisperings of the soul. This path, adorned in another's dreams, is often perceived as one of stability, a cocoon of safety. But this sense of stability is an illusion, a mirage vanishing under the scrutiny of introspection. To move beyond this is to face the tempest, to embrace the chaos of unknowns, to find true shelter not in the accolades of others, but the quiet confidence of inner knowing and purpose. It is to stand at the crossroads of uncertainty and choose the path less travelled by, where authentic growth begins. True freedom is redefining success by the light of one's inner truth, unmooring from societal dictates to align with personal aspirations. Success becomes a living tapestry, woven from personal integrity and the pursuit of passions unobserved yet deeply felt. This journey is not merely a shift in perspective, but defiant reclamation of the self, a rebellion against narratives that are not our own, finding joy in the silence left behind by the clamour of false ideals. With every step into authenticity, we unravel the emotional terrain layered with sorrow and euphoria, introspection and revelation. Acceptance is the compass, gently navigating transitions, embracing change. Emotional resilience becomes a trusted companion on this path, as solitude shines light on the intrinsic strength nestled within. Courage stands as the gatekeeper of transformation, the bridge from inherited dreams to the self-crafted life. It is the bold act of choosing truth over deception, authenticity over mere approval. Change often emerges from humble beginnings, small acts of assertion that chart new courses from old boundaries. Courage shapes the contours of this new journey, guiding us steadily beyond fear to a life embraced for its true essence. The life waiting patiently beyond the weight of others' dreams. In this sacred return to inner alignment, we find the quiet power to weave a legacy defined not by the multitude of accomplishments, but by the deep resonance of truth. Here, amid the gentle stirrings of authenticity, is where true fulfillment whispers an everlasting melody to the soul. In the dim light of modern living, where the tick-tock of productivity etches its patterns into our days, the term lazy often becomes a shadow. It's a label hastily sewn onto weary hearts, a veil obscuring the deeper, intricate tapestry of our realities. True laziness rarely blights the human spirit. Instead, exhaustion whispers beneath our skins, a plea from the soul shackled by the chains of obligation and misaligned pursuits. Our tired frowns are not weaknesses. They are echoes of inner unrest, quietly challenging the facades we wear for the world. In the vast interplay of our inner landscapes and external terrains, lazy emerges as a tale of misunderstanding, our struggle, not against desire, but against borrowed dreams and imposed values. The body is a wise, ancient steward, its lethargy a protection, a guardian against paths not meant for our feet. Felt deeply in bones and blood, this weariness isn't deceit, it's defiance, a nudge to venture back toward authenticity. By peeling away this deceptive label, we uncover truths, allowing us to grasp that fatigue is not about capacity, but about living in harmony with our true selves. In this exploration, the heart reveals its story of misalignment, a narrative penned not in grand gestures, but in the language of silent resistance. Our spirit resists when life is a dance choreographed by outer norms, drawing us away from the cadence of our truths. The world applauds external milestones, celebrating conformity, but deep fulfillment waits where inner and outer worlds entwine. Misalignment is not a flaw of our psyche. It's a reflection, a signal urging a return to paths lit by our passions, rather than dictated by others. This misalignment shrouds us subtly, wrapping us in a cloak of dissatisfaction and a relentless weariness. Our bodies whisper their tales through aches and persistent fatigue, while our emotions speak in subdued shades of disengagement. By listening, truly listening, we hear the stories trapped within our tired muscles and dulled spirits, stories yearning to be acknowledged and set free through alignment and genuine expression. Woven into our existence are countless expectations, strands of duty hidden within the loom of societal norms. They weave through our ambitions unnoticed, a tapestry dyed with dreams not our own. These unseen weights, masquerading as our aspirations, bind us to narratives that drain our vitality. In their unravelling lies a path to rediscovering the gentle pulse of our authentic dreams, to unravelling the inherited threads and crafting our own tapestry of life. The silent calls of the body unroll before us a map lined with wisdom. When it resists, it's offering the chance to explore corridors filled with light, chances where our true selves can roam free. Embracing such resistance is more than acknowledging a nudge toward change. It's a celebration of the body's eloquent language, a compass pointing toward fulfillment. We begin to understand that this innate resistance isn't a hindrance. It's an invitation, a call to journey inward, a chance to realign with who we were always meant to be. The path of emotional honesty uncovers a dim yet sacred trail, inviting us to explore the deep caves of our innermost emotions. True self-compassion blossoms in this space, urging courage to look beyond the shallow pools of justifications, to discover the rivers of truth that underpin our fatigue. Here lies the heart's delicate balance, a gentle recognition that what seems like laziness is often the kindling for desires dimmed beneath layers of expectation. Human resilience, a wild and untamed force, awaits. Beyond the tides of exhaustion, it lies nestled within, ready to unfurl its power at the call of authenticity and purpose. This core, vibrant with potential, fuels transformation. It's an echo of the universe's creativity, propelling us towards self-actualization, encouraging the embrace of paths aligned with our deepest nature, pulling us away from those which lead only to the arid expanse of unfulfillment. Society's collective illusions, those shimmering mirages of productivity and busyness, cast spells that beckon toward distraction. To rise above requires piercing these illusions, separating the image of success from its substance. It is the journey of seeing life not as a pursuit governed by inherited myths, but as a canvas for orchestrating our own rhythms, celebrating pauses and silences that enrich our stories. To reimagine productivity is to untangle ourselves from the relentless cycle of doing. It invites us to find balance, a peaceful harmony between action and reflection. In this space, our souls breathe deeply, energized not by hurried tasks, but by moments that root us in purpose. It's a shift in perception that gently rewires our understanding of a life well lived. Ultimately, the courage to change emerges as a quiet revolution, a determined yet delicate force. It's the bravery found not in leaps but in steady steps toward authentic living. By daring to face fears and let go of unfulfilling paths, our very existence is redefined. We become artisans of our own destiny, sculpting a life that reflects our deepest truths, nourishing our spirits with vitality and new energy. This journey traverses the terrain of fulfillment and authenticity, where the essence of life unfolds like a delicate poem. As we align ourselves with intrinsic values and passions, the path ignites in vibrant hues, revealing a landscape abundant with life and meaning. The journey is ongoing, a rediscovery of self, a becoming, where in each moment we step closer to the harmony embedded within our own story, leaving behind the shadows of fatigue for the brilliance of our true selves. In the quiet, shadowed corners of our existence lies a question so profound, it reverberates through the chambers of our mind. Who am I beyond the roles the world has stitched around me? Often our lives begin bound within a template, one that fits snugly into the mosaic of social and familial expectations. These patterns create an identity shaped by others' perceptions and desires. Here, within these crafted masks, there exists an illusion of protection and acceptance. Yet beneath this carefully constructed facade, whispers echo, speaking of a persistent unrest that lurks in the spaces where our true self fights for air. As these masks take over, a chasm grows silent and deep, between who we show the world and who we truly are. We exhaust ourselves maintaining these images, student, partner, professional, friend, each one demanding more of our essence. Over time, this projection becomes a heavy costume, and we, actors in a role not our own. The fatigue of this performance slowly stifles our authenticity, causing our true self to fade like a ghost in the distance. The path to wholeness demands we recognize this discomfort, stepping toward the raw truth of our being and reconciling with it. Amid these reflections, there is an internal battle, a profound conflict between the essence of who we are and the roles we feel obliged to fulfill. In the solitude of night or dawn's quiet moments, this clash becomes apparent. Here, with no spectators, the authenticity of our desires yearns to break free from the weight of imposed personas. In this battlefield of mind and spirit, dissatisfaction and restlessness seep into our lives, a sense of emptiness masked by daily routines. We find ourselves at the threshold of a journey, a quest for the submerged identity beneath layers of conditioning. Roles that we assume, caregiver, victor, peacemaker, become shadows that obscure the authenticity within us. While society validates these roles, they leave us with a hollow sense of fulfillment, often misaligned with our deepest desires. Like shadows, they linger, offering temporary comfort, but ultimately casting long silhouettes that hide our true yearnings. Although these roles suggest stability, they slowly restrict our soul's growth, preventing us from engaging with life in its genuine, untouched form. Breaking free requires courage, to not fear revealing the unknown yet intimate self beneath. True stability calls for a deeper personal definition, one divorced from societal metrics of success. It isn't found in permanence, but in the fluidity that embraces resilience and adaptable spirit. The art of facing life's ever-changing dance with an open heart. Transitioning from the security of external validation to self-fulfillment, we are challenged to chase growth beyond the illusion of safety. Within this act of redefinition is the freedom to discover an identity unbound by constraints, revealing a journey toward that most sacred of goals, our wholeness. In the tumult of imposed roles, our inner voice, though muffled, remains a steadfast compass, guiding us toward authenticity. Rediscovering this voice is crucial in navigating the silent crisis of identity. As life's noise subsides in moments of intentional stillness, this quietly persistent guide reveals the deepest truths and desires. In nurturing this internal dialogue, we learn to align our actions not with imposed ideals, but with authentic aspirations. It is a journey of nuanced listening, where patient inquiry brightens the path to ourselves. Amid this odyssey, there comes a call for deviation, a brave step away from paths that no longer serve our spirit. This divergence requires profound courage and an embrace of vulnerability, facing potential external disapproval, but moving toward personal truth. It is not rebellion against society, but a return to innate authenticity. By reimagining identity, we forge connections with the reservoir of resilience within us, dormant yet ever present. The journey of identity is intertwined with the weaving of uncertainty, stepping into a realm where unpredictability births growth. Though daunting, uncertainty invites exploration, leading us down pathways of potential where self-awareness blooms. Embracing the unknown becomes an alliance, not an adversary, enriching the archaeology of our true selves. Amidst this quiet transformation, success undergoes redefinition, shifting from external validation to internal, intrinsic fulfillment. It prompts introspection into what deeply resonates within us, unbound by convention. In this reframing, success finds new form, celebrating creativity, relationships, and peace that arise from living authentically. It embodies a personal odyssey toward a genuine existence, marking a race not of competition, but one of self-discovery and profound personal truth. To craft a life aligned with our authenticity requires both reflection and action. We must consciously weave choices imbued with our values and desires, creating a tapestry of intention. With each deliberate step, an authentic life unfolds, a life marked by depth and meaning, where choices touch the essence of who we are. Living authentically becomes not an instant revelation, but a conscious cultivation, a life authored from the truth of our spirit. As we walk this path, the silent crisis of identity transmutes from turmoil into a catalyst for a journey toward wholeness. A journey where the human experience finds reconciliation and expression in both shadow and light. Here lies a sacred odyssey, celebrating the complexity and wonder of being truly, fully human. In the hushed corners of consciousness, a voice often rises, not with venom, but with a misguided whisper that yearns to protect. This voice, the inner critic, finds its origins early in the labyrinth of childhood, where the seeds of identity are sown amidst the feedback of watchful eyes and cautious smiles. Parents, teachers, and friends inadvertently shape us, their insistences embedding deep within. Yet when approval comes in fleeting glances or conditional measures, the child within internalizes a quest for a horizon forever out of reach. This voice, once a mere whisper, swells into an echo of perceived truths, moulded by external expectations and anxious hopes. Cocooned in its relentless refrain, this critic weaves threads of guilt and shame, fostering a narrative of not enough, turning eyes outward to measure shadows against imagined luminescence of others. In this exhausting theatre of comparison, we anchor ourselves to a script not ours, seeking validation in achievements that often ring hollow. Yet, beneath this cacophony lies not an insurmountable foe, but a voice that, understood, can lead to liberation, a guide disentangling us from its binding threads. The critic's language is a polyphonic discourse, seamlessly weaving itself into our thoughts, masquerading as undeniable truth. Urgent imperatives drown our inner dialogue, a steady rain of shoulds and musts, shaped by societal veneers rather than personal essence. Phrases such as "be more like them" or "achieve that milestone" are binding edicts in the subconscious court, clouding our lens with absolutes. Yet, language is a dual-edged sword, capable of crafting both prisons and sanctuaries. By casting a conscious spotlight on this corrosive narrative, we carve out silence from chaos, creating space to rewrite our tale. In awareness, there is rebellion against inadequacy's chorus, exchanging condemnation for acceptance. Wearing the heavy mantle of guilt, we dress in a guise of repentance that obscures our path toward genuine self-truth. Guilt often reveals itself in the fractures between action and outer expectation, wielded by the critic as proof of inadequacy. Here, we remain tethered to an unforgiving past, moments of joy overshadowed by whispered failures. Yet, in examining guilt's roots, we uncover not a reflection of our deeds, but echoes of standards never truly our own. Through gentle inquiry, guilt transforms, a compass pointing to the unacknowledged yearning for self-compassion. Once punitive, it becomes a force of growth, guiding us toward our genuine values. As we traverse this internal landscape, shame stands as the shadowy twin of guilt, entwined with the critic's sharp tongue, suggesting a flaw not in action, but in essence. Where guilt reflects our deeds, shame whispers of persona, suggesting a core inadequacy. Hidden in secrecy and silence, it widens the chasm between self and ideal. Yet, shame holds within it a seed of resilience through the embrace of shared vulnerability. Here, compassion transforms shame from despair to catalyst, closing gaps to unveil an enduring harmony, a place of true worthiness. Confusion swirls in this intricate dance, often dismissed as weakness, yet it heralds the unravelling of well-trodden paths. It signifies a fracture in habitual certainty, wherein lies potential. The critic thrives on certainty, drawing strength from prescribed paths. Confusion becomes the serendipitous signal for insight. Embrace this quivering state, not with resistance, but with openness, allowing the space to sift through chaotic messages, uncovering desires silenced too long. In uncertainty, creativity burgeons, reconstructing narratives anew without constraints, a shift from reactions to reflections, yielding clarity. Thus, confusion births a resilient self-awareness, a new harmony beyond the critic's reach. Amidst this inner tempest, anchoring oneself in the quiet harbour of self-worth stands as an act of rebellion. Here, value is innate, unmarred by external milestones. It is an embrace of presence over perfection. This deep-rooted self-compassion forms a shield against ceaseless judgment, discerning unfounded criticism from the voice offering reflection. Nurturing respect within, we craft fertile soil for authenticity to blossom. Our true selves, untouched by fear's grip, emerge resplendent, each step marked by confident self-determination. Yet transformation beckons further. The inner critic, once tyrant, transforms to ally through patient endeavour. Here awareness seeds change, separating the critic's echoes from our essence. Engage purposefully, posing questions to pierce the judgment's veneer. Seek the fears it guards. Dialogue fosters empathy, bridging critique and understanding. Each moment of reflection tempers raw critique, refining it into self-discovery. Barriers transform to bridges, each offering insights gentle and profound. The critic, reshaped, becomes a guide tempered with kindness, a testament to growth beyond passivity. In a realm dominated by harsh echoes, self-compassion emerges a gentle revolution. It soothes wounds etched by relentless critique, grounded in the knowledge that each soul, each fleeting moment of flaw, cradles inherent worth. In critique's acute moments, self-compassion flows with forgiveness, a liberating force of empowerment. Here lies the unlearning, the reframing of failures, the patient practice of acceptance, each nurturing resilience against negativity. Within cultivating self-compassion, we find strength. Our story penned not with limits, but with the expansive stroke of understanding. Thus, acceptance transforms into a quiet revolution, embracing the full spectrum of being not as resignation, but as a fertile ground for change. It is a surrender to authenticity, defying the critic's confines, a trusting return to wholeness. In facing vulnerability with curiosity, criticism transcends to growth, each moment a chance at authentic evolution. Guided not by critique's clamour, but by truth's whisper, we stand strengthened by the melody of acceptance, each step aligned with the intonation of our deepest desires. Runway clear for takeoff into boundless existence. In the relentless hum of our modern world, where every moment is filled with the clinking of demands and the insistent chiming of notifications, finding silence can feel like an impossible dream. Yet, within the noise lies a paradox. A silence not as the absence of sound, but as an intentional sanctuary for the self, a cocoon in which our true voice seeks to be heard. In the calm embrace of this silence, the soft whispers of our innermost desires begin to echo, pulling us back to a time when simplicity was enough. Stripping away the cacophony of external expectations is like brushing dust from forgotten memories, urging us gently to excavate the hidden gems of who we truly are beneath societal masks. It is here in the quiet that we commence our exploration, listening deeply to the unspoken truths calling us home. Our bodies speak in a language of subtlety, a gentle rhythm of sensations and pulses that often go unnoticed amid the intellectual clamour for clarity. Tuning into this non-verbal symphony, we discover a bridge between mind and spirit, a delicate thread connecting us to our primal instincts. This somatic awareness calls for a patient heart, keen to listen, to heed the body's whispered wisdom, rather than dismissing it as trivial. With each encounter, whether it's the tightening of anxious muscles or the warmth of sincere joy, the body charts its own map of our experiences, inviting us to attend its signals and comprehend their significance. Through the gentle flow of yoga or the tranquil cadence of mindful breath, our bodies teach us to recognize what resonates as genuinely ours, grounding us in decisions birthed from both thought and instinct. In this dance of introspection, our longings emerge as subtle guideposts, those persistent yearnings that remain steadfast despite life's currents. Often obscured by daily responsibilities, these quiet desires ask for recognition not as indulgences, but as threads weaving toward a life more aligned with our essence. To distinguish inherently soulful longings from those imposed by society requires an openness, a willingness to sift through inherited expectations and honestly discern what ignites our spirit. Practices like free writing or visualized dreaming create the space to explore without judgment, permitting our imaginations to map vibrant patterns toward fulfillment. In these dreams, the essence of our neglected selves finds voice, offering potential pathways toward a deeper truth. Creativity opens portals to our authentic selves, a brush across the canvas of our existence, unfettered by conventional constraints. Each spark of creativity, whether an artistic expression, an inventive idea, or a playful daydream, connects directly to our inner truth, a dialogue that logic cannot articulate. These moments, brimming with metaphor and narrative, resonate with an undeniable awareness, a feeling of profound rightness that assures us we are glimpsing a facet of our true spirit. Through creativity, we allow authenticity to flourish, crafting a life that dances freely within its unique rhythm. Here, amidst the sparks and colours of our imagination, we honour creativity as essential to our journey. Not a passing indulgence, but a vital thread in the fabric of our genuine selves. This journey inward reveals a visceral sense of rightness, a core knowing that defies logic, surfacing not as understanding, but as a deep, instinctual truth. Yet, in the rush of daily existence, this sensation can slip through the cracks, overshadowed by intellectual clatter. Trusting this innate compass requires finding quiet moments to reflect and feel our way through choices rather than merely thinking through them. The balm of nature, the quiet breath of meditation, or the simple act of journaling becomes a beacon to this internal clarity. Through trust in this inner wisdom, we dismantle barriers to living authentically, moving toward a life crafted with love and intention. In the shadows of our consciousness lie suppressed whispers, the aspects of self we've hidden or silenced. These fragments, residing as unvoiced dreams or forgotten passions, linger in the corners of our being. Acknowledging these whispers invites not just validation but integration, a journey of weaving what was once separate into the whole. By bravely questioning what we've silenced and inviting these truths into the light, we embrace our complexity, healing the separation within, fashioning a tapestry of rich human experience. Silent reflection acts as a mirror, illuminating our most authentic self. It is in the quiet moments, free from external definition, that our soul constructs its story. The power of silence lies not in its emptiness, but in its ability to magnify the substance of our inner world. Through meditation, mindful walks, and solitary reflection, we foster a nurturing habitat for self-discovery, allowing insights and truths to unfurl gently. This sacred space anchors us, revealing the genuine self beyond the constructions of ego and expectation. Living in alignment with our inner truth often calls for trusting the signals illuminated during these reflective pauses. Although daunting in a world that venerates reason over intuition, this trust guides us to navigate uncertainty with faith in our internal directives. By embracing this intuitive path, we find that even the most unpredictable currents lead us to align with our true nature, a dance of mind, heart, and spirit that transcends conventional understanding. Through heartfelt listening, we nurture empathy for our own experiences, approaching them with the same compassion we offer others. It is this self-empathy that fosters connection, a loving attention to our needs and struggles. By attuning to our feelings with kindness, we validate our humanity without judgment, enhancing our capacity to engage empathetically with the world around us. Ultimately, residing in authenticity is a meandering path of discovery, an embrace of the questions as much as the answers. As we heed the whispers beneath the noise, we construct a life that feels uniquely and beautifully ours, marked by clarity and guided by our inner symphony. In this journey, we learn to reside comfortably in the unfolding truth of our being, crafting a life as intricate and radiant as the very fabric of our souls. In the hush of everyday moments, the word should whispers its insistent demands, threading itself through the quiet fabric of our lives. It carries the weight of generations, coaxing us toward a path carved by the expectations of others. You should seek stability, it urges, layering societal norms over our shoulders. Yet, this stability, often synonymous with conformity and predictability, rarely aligns with the deeper currents of our individual souls. It suggests a life tethered to financial security and routine, seldom asking if these pursuits resonate with the core of our being. This subtle word masquerades as wisdom, yet chains us to paths we never chose. Breaking free requires a gentle pause, a breath of introspection. We must ask ourselves, do our choices bloom from a genuine desire, or are they echoes of a dictated should? This inquiry isn't rebellion against responsibility, but an invitation to uncover authenticity. Through deliberate introspection, we reclaim the dialogue with ourselves, peeling back layers of imposed doctrines to touch our own truths. Recognizing the power of should initiates our quiet liberation, a soft awakening to the vast agency we hold over our paths. Yet the cost of living by should is heavy, creating a weight upon our hearts that shapes our self-worth and limits our joy. Every time we follow a misaligned should, we fracture, birthing silent discord between who we are and who we feign to be. This dissonance breeds anxiety, regret, and a shadow of inadequacy, as our emotions steep in a concoction of obligation and borrowed beliefs. But in acknowledging this pain, healing begins. We see discomfort not as flaw, but as signpost guiding us back to personal truth, allowing space for self-compassion to bloom and authenticity to fortify. Courage is needed to question these deeply rooted shoulds, as it means venturing into uncharted emotional territories. These ingrained beliefs shape our identities and values, and challenging them can feel like stepping off the well-worn path of our lives. To do so requires cultivating an environment of psychological safety, where inquiry is welcome and fear is faced with openness. By exploring why certain shoulds persist, we begin to unravel their origins, discerning what remains relevant as we evolve beyond them. Each question births empowerment, freeing us from expectation and prompting authentic self-definition. In this newfound space, our hearts begin to voice the desires long suppressed beneath societal and familial burdens. Listening becomes key, honouring what truly resonates within. The heart, often illogical but always true, nudges us toward paths imbued with joy and fulfillment. As its whispers transform into vivid calls, they lead us into untouched adventures and uncharted dreams. Aligning with the heart blends introspection with action, crafting a narrative where personal authenticity reigns. This quiet rebellion of authenticity takes form not in loud gestures, but in serene sureness. Masks sculpted by expectation fall away, revealing the simple truth beneath. Choosing authenticity over assimilation becomes a sacred act of freedom and courage, guiding us through life with an integrity and resilience that defy external impositions. Here, self-worth is intrinsic and unbound by external validation, empowering us to navigate life's tides with purpose and grace. Establishing boundaries fortifies this journey, framing personal space where genuine self flourishes. They keep the invasive shoulds at bay and nurture a sense of self-respect. Boundaries gently uphold our autonomy, inviting relationships founded on mutual respect and fulfillment rather than exhaustion. They whisper assurance of worthiness, reminding us that we deserve a life crafted from our own vision. Non-attachment emerges as a balm, loosening the grasp of should and nurturing resilience. Embracing this art means untying self-worth from external markers, allowing curiosity to guide us through life's flow. It invites openness to change, fostering a presence that savours each moment as teacher and guide, crafting a life rich in authentic connection. Reflective practices become sanctuaries amid this transformation. In the quiet of journaling and meditation, we discover narratives that entrap us and truths that liberate. Within these sacred spaces, we give voice to desires muffled by the noise of obligation, forming maps that guide us toward clarity and revelation. Embracing vulnerability as strength is essential for this path, casting aside misconceptions that equate it with weakness. It allows us to present ourselves unguarded, nurturing genuine connections and fostering understanding. Through it, we forgive our rigid self-judgments, embrace our stories, and transform self-doubt into a wellspring of growth and acceptance. At last, we arrive at the invitation to authentic living, a call to breathe deeply into the present, recognizing the power to define our own meaning. It is a journey not of radical departures, but gentle homecoming, a synergy of mind, heart, and spirit, where every moment invites reconnection and reinvention. Here, in this embrace of authenticity, lies the promise of a life abundant and free. In the gentle embrace of life's intricacies lies the power of quiet transformation. It begins not with grand gestures, but with the small, deliberate choices that light our path back to authenticity. Picture a morning when you choose a different route to work, feeling the world open anew with each step forward. Here, in this quiet rebellion, you start peeling away the layers that have long obscured your true essence. Each choice becomes a melody in the ballad of your life, where every note, however subtle, steers you toward a resonance that is entirely your own. The structures that once seemed impenetrable start to crack, revealing glimpses of a self unburdened by expectation. And then you find yourself standing at the precipice of truth. Speaking it feels like the first crack in a long-maintained facade. Each word is a release, a gentle awakening of the dormant courage within you, casting off the weight of unspoken truths. This act of honesty isn't about loud declarations. It's a steady commitment to listening and responding to your innermost self. With each small assertion, you carve out a space where your truth can breathe freely, inviting others to do the same without intent to impose, but simply to stand firm in who you are. As you release these echoes of former selves, each outdated role gently falls away like autumn leaves. Feel the earth's embrace as new paths beckon, no longer constrained by roles that shielded you, but no longer serve. In the stillness, clarity emerges, guiding you toward roles that celebrate who you've become. These roles, though familiar, no longer dictate your journey. Instead, they become facets of your ever-evolving narrative, a quiet testament to the freedom found in stepping into the unknown, untethered from the pretenses of yesteryears. In this openness, previously hidden interests awaken, like seeds germinating in fertile soil. Picture rediscovering a childhood hobby, its promise of joy pulsing anew through your veins. These pursuits aren't just distractions, they are sacred whispers from your soul, affirmations of your capacity for joy and curiosity. As you explore them, you reclaim the creative agency forgotten amidst life's obligations, allowing your spirit to soar toward horizons painted with your own colours. The richness of rediscovery endows your life with layers of meaning and potential, each interest a tether to the present, vivifying dreams long hidden. Amidst this journey, a subtle course correction unfolds, a gentle redirection rather than a sudden jolt. It is the art of feeling, when paths diverge from your values not with regret but with acceptance, a graceful acknowledgement of life's inherent fluidity. With each step, let humility guide you, knowing that certainty is an illusion. As you adjust your course, each decision becomes infused with intention, turning drift into direction. Shaping a life imbued with purpose and authenticity. Here you dance with life, gracefully accepting its twists and bends as part of your ongoing masterpiece. Boundaries soft as the morning mist arise to shape your existence, delineating where you end and the world begins. They are not walls, but gentle contours that honour your needs and aspirations, marking the sacred space in which you grow. As you nurture these boundaries, you declare your self-worth and invite reciprocal respect. Each boundary is both guide and guardian, creating an environment where your inner lights can flourish, unimpeded, grounded in mutual recognition and love. Embrace vulnerability, that paradoxical strength, with reverent openness. It asks you to stand before your reflection, stripped of pretense, and accept every fissure as a facet of beauty. This strength in openness fosters empathy, allowing connections to deepen and genuine growth to flourish. In vulnerability's tender embrace, unveil the fertile soil beneath your fears, cultivating strength from the raw threads of your experiences. Here, authenticity takes root, transcending shame and celebrating every piece of your human tapestry. Consistency, like the gentle stirring of dawn, becomes your alchemical ally in transforming intentions into reality. Through mindful repetition of small actions, resistance fades, revealing the core of your inner truth layered beneath. Let each day's ritual, a quiet meditation or reflective journaling, become a soothing rhythm, aligning with your aspirations. These consistent practices, like soft rains nurturing a garden, become the resilient framework upon which your authentic life is built, deepening the bond between your actions and aspirations. And now allow rituals of renewal and reinvention to anchor you amid life's turbulent seas. They are pauses that reconnect you with your essence, illuminating paths forward, whether through a meditative tea ceremony or a moment of silence shared with the stars. These rituals weave moments of mindfulness through your days. As you engage with them, watch as outdated narratives fall away, paving the way for the unencumbered growth of your current self. unfurling toward endless possibilities. Embrace this empowerment not in grand declarations, but in the steady, quiet acceptance of your strength and worth. Allow each moment of courage, each choice made with introspection, to orchestrate your life symphony. Empowerment is a gentle unfolding, a recognition of the potential within you, awaiting the nurturing light of conscious choice. In this continuous act of becoming, you honour every facet of your experience, stepping into a vibrant alignment with your deepest values. As you share this authenticity with the world, you invite others to embrace their own, creating a rich tapestry of collective empowerment and growth, woven from the colourful threads of sincere human connection. In the gentle silence of the soul, there lies a quiet rebellion, an uprising, softly simmering beneath the surface, challenging the dictates of lives shaped by the expectations of others. This rebellion is not marked by loud proclamations or drastic leaps into the unknown. Instead, it takes form in subtle realizations, slowly unfurling like the petals of a forgotten flower longing for sunlight. With each gentle whisper, this internal revolution nudges us to acknowledge that the life adorned with society's trophies and accolades might not be our true path. As Carl Jung wisely observed, wholeness calls for the recognition and embrace of our neglected parts. This soulful rebellion beckons us toward authenticity, imploring us to shed the masks crafted for acceptance and approval, urging us to reconnect with the essence that has been hidden beneath the weight of obligation. Embracing discomfort becomes our ally on this journey, an essential companion in casting off the fetters of societal and familial shoulds. It invites us to brave the unease that accompanies a departure from the scripts handed to us at birth, making way for genuine self-discovery. Within Jungian psychology, self-discovery is a lifelong journey, a dance with our shadow, an acceptance of contradictions, and a reconciliatory embrace of our true selves. As we distance ourselves from borrowed ideals and venture towards our core desires, we mark each step as a milestone in reclaiming control over our journey. This quiet revolution, seemingly soft yet profoundly transformative, promises a life brimming with personal meaning. Nestled deep within us lies an inner compass, a guiding star that awaits our attention amidst the clamour of the external world. To rediscover this profound guide requires moments of solitude, where we learn to distinguish between the noise outside and the authentic whispers within. Viktor Frankl emphasized meaning as a pivotal element in our existence, urging us to carve out time for reflection and connection with our inner truth. Emotional intelligence becomes our beacon, illuminating the warmth of activities that spark joy and the heaviness accompanying paths that feel misaligned with our heart's desires. This attunement is not merely intellectual, but is a somatic tuning, a gentle aligning of our inner instrument, ensuring harmony with our soul's symphony. Honouring our emotions as messengers rather than adversaries, we chart a path illuminated by authenticity, steering clear of conformity's shadows. The art of self-authorship breathes life into our narrative, freeing us from scripts not penned by our own hand, but crafted by society's expectations. Nietzsche spoke of the rebellion inherent in claiming the pen of destiny, challenging the status quo with courage and determination. Acknowledging ourselves as the protagonists of our own story, we deconstruct the narratives imposed upon us and reconstruct a life founded on personal values and passions. To do so demands the courage to surrender the familiar tales of what one ought to become, and to summon the boldness to explore beyond the confines of should. This act of creation and recreation becomes an evolving mosaic of insights and experiences, granting us the agency to live with authenticity. On this path, challenges emerge as tests of resilience and strength, a call for continual rebirth. This resilience is not mere endurance, but an adaptable strength, a capacity to transform darkness into light. As Carl Rogers spoke of authenticity as the foundation for growth, embracing resilience transforms us, urging us to leave behind fragments of ourselves for the birth of new life paths. Rebirth becomes our ally, guiding us in understanding ourselves, evolving, and surrendering past identities, fostering an existence marked by renewed vitality. This journey toward authenticity unveils the need for genuine connections, relationships grounded in mutual respect and honesty. As we emerge into our true selves, authentic connections illuminate our path, enriching our lives beyond superficial bonds. These connections blossom through vulnerability, empathy, and open hearts, serving as mirrors that reflect both our strengths and areas for growth. Letting go emerges as a significant art form, a mindful release of outdated beliefs and rigid identities. Embracing the paradox of letting go, as Carl Jung taught, allows us to reconcile contradictions and reveals wholeness within. The practice of release is a gateway to healing, encouraging a healthier relationship with ourselves that prioritizes presence over possession. In the dance from resistance to acceptance, we invite fear and doubt to the table, quietly challenging their validity. Acceptance becomes our sanctuary, where transformation thrives amidst life's unpredictability. Through acceptance, we find courage, compassion, and originality, evolving in harmony with our values. It serves as a testament to the resilience born from understanding and embracing the inevitable uncertainties of existence. Crafting a vision for the future becomes an act of intention, weaving a life of purpose and alignment with core values. This vision evolves, a tapestry of authenticity, acting as both compass and map toward fulfillment. Through emotional resonance and reflection, we empower ourselves to perceive and pursue possibilities. In the culmination of this awakening, personal sovereignty emerges, a reclamation of inherent power and autonomy. It's not about dominion over others, but mastery over oneself. Establishing boundaries becomes central to this mastery, celebrating individuality while pursuing meaning and purpose in adversity. Sovereignty releases the need for external validation, fostering peace in self-acceptance and dignity. Awakening to a life that is truly ours is an eternal dance of becoming, a fluid embrace of the self, a continuous act of conscious co-creation. With curiosity and commitment to authenticity, we navigate life's transitions with grace, savouring each moment of growth. Join us as you embark upon this sacred journey of self-discovery. And if this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and continue to walk this path with us.